maybe the corporate customer sites within the UK. And in this way, they were able to practice in the job. They were able to participate in these programs in the job and then practice in a known good environment. And here's an example of what it looks like. So we replicated live networks with real equipment, deployed them in a web browser, and allowed them to jump from one device to the next over here. Once they click on the device, their telnet access appears down here. So it happens all in one window. It's on the web, and it's a sandbox environment that they can get from a customer site, from the field, as they're learning. So we're trying to bring the learning to the job and make it as live or as experiential as possible. Okay, and that helped them transform, or it's in the process of helping them transform their business. Here's a similar situation at EDS, Electronic Data Systems in Plano, Texas, Ross Perot's old company. And I think they do a lot of work in this area as well. They want to energize the agile enterprise. That's kind of they're reinventing their business to a certain degree. And they realize that the skill set of all of their 100,000 or so IT consultants is starting to get a little bit stale, and they need to get up to speed on .NET and a few other things. And so they've created almost a plug-and-play architecture for the skill sets of their people, and they're driving them towards what they call the agile enterprise, which means they can go into an organization, and if they build the IT infrastructure correctly, pull out Oracle and drop in SAP or whatever without the whole thing breaking apart. And so they're creating this pretty agile, modular approach. And in this way, the skills of the people are the product. So EDS treats knowledge management like product development. So how much does a typical US, probably global corporation spend on training, percentage of revenue every year? 2 to 5%. How much do they spend on product development? 35%. So EDS spends, not 35%, but much closer to 25% on training, knowledge management, skills development of their people, because that is their product, which makes them a great customer, by the way, if you happen to be in the training business. So they wanted to reskill 90,000 consultants in 12 months. And how are they going to do it? So they built a thing called the Technical Excellence Program, and they did it from a variety of different approaches. First, from a corporate perspective, they built these things called fast tracks, which were edicts down from the organization that said, these are the objectives, these are the areas where we want you to get trained. And we built some, and I'll show a picture of it in just a sec, but we built some in collaboration with Thomson NetG and labs, kind of a blended e-learning program where they'd go through some e-learning and they'd go through some labs, and they would kind of do what the corporation said, and they had certain requirements for their job role, etc. Individual view, though, Thomson NetG's built a thing called Learnflow, which you should look at. It's very cool, which in effect is a calendar of multisensory learning objects. And on a daily basis, you tell it, I want to learn about .NET, and I want to learn it in 90 days. And it will give you daily lessons and track you through these learning objects in a calendar view, kind of like Outlook, and tell you if you're behind. It'll email you. It'll email your boss if you're too far behind. I mean, the system it's extremely intrusive. So this is pushed to the nth degree. But it's configured by the individual, and it's prescribed in the sense that the student pre-assesses, and they only have to accomplish the objectives which they didn't pass. So there is kind of an element of humanity to it, and I'll show it to you in a second. And then they also did this agility training, which I thought was interesting, where they created immersion workshops, brought people into Plano, just kind of the Jedi Knights, they called them, the top 1,000 or so, and they brought them in for this full immersion, the EDS way kind of thing for a couple weeks. And they're going to market, and this really happened in the last 18 months, so they're going to market right now, and EDS is saying our experiential capability, because all of this incorporates experiential learning, is a differentiator. Our experience with the different technologies and the fact that we have such a broad range is a differentiator. So this is what a fast track looks like, just kind of a real simple website where you have some content here that's been determined by corporate. This is NetG. You have some labs, and the students kind of have to bounce through, and they have to accomplish a certain 40 hours, 80 hours worth of content in their particular job role. This is what Learnflow looks like, much nicer. So in Learnflow, here's the days of the week from, let's say, in this particular case, I was learning about Microsoft Server 2003. Here are my tasks. So here's reading, here's CBT, online e-learning, here's labs, here's assessment, here's a recorded class, here's the final exam, the course exam Tom was talking about. And as you go through, the green one means you've passed. If it has half green, it means you're halfway done, but you haven't completed it. So it'll pre-assess you all the way along. And if these turn green, that's good, right? Now, there's a bar, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's like right around here. And up here, it'll tell you you're 4% done and you're behind. But it's green, so you're okay. You're within some tolerance of 10 days or so. If this turns yellow or red, then you're way behind and you get in trouble. And it'll constantly monitor you on a daily basis. Pretty cool, but a pain in the neck. And then this is what the labs look like. So in this particular situation here, preparing to administer a server, you would click on that learning object and this would pop up. And it gives you live access to a real server with the lab guide over here, and you complete all the tasks, and then the system will, in effect, grade you. There's an assessment element built in that goes in and checks your work, makes sure you've done it, and turns your box green. Okay, pretty interesting. Okay, so universal contextual searching. I cannot, in all good conscience, give a presentation without a matrix clip. So what I want to do is I want to show you what I think, and we'll talk about it in just a moment, is the ultimate. And I think I plugged in the sound. We'll find out in just a second. But to me, this is the ultimate nirvana with respect to 21st century learning. Oops. Oh. It's not sounding real good.
You can see the lips moving. But
yeah.
you can hear the background, but not the voice track.
Sounds like it's stereo and you have one track.
Yeah, I'm going
I told that before. If you put a microphone down near the speakers, sometimes that can count.
Here we go.
Do that.
Do what?
You move like they do. I've never seen anyone move that fast.
Isn't fast enough.
You turn it up?
Yeah.
That's full.
Can you slide that thing?
Not yet.
Operator.
Tank, I need a pilot program for a B-212 helicopter. Hurry. Let's go.
Okay. Nirvana of learning, huh? So for those of you who haven't seen The Matrix, I'll explain this clip in just a second. I gotta plug in or else I'm gonna lose you at the last second. But in this example, the woman, her name is Trinity, and they are stuck on the roof of a building, and the agents, the bad guys, are chasing them. So let me go down here. Okay, so the agents are chasing them and going to kill them because they've got valuable information and they're trying to rescue one of their buddies. And the only escape they have is with a helicopter that neither of them knows how to fly, a B-212 helicopter. And so what do they need? They need on-the-job learning at the moment of need. You have a highly motivated student that needs a very specific piece of information and needs it quickly. So what do? They take out their portable device, in this case a Nokia phone, and they call their learning management system. A guy named Tank, who happens to be the operator. Okay, and what does Tank do? Tank searches the knowledge base for the lesson on how to fly a B-212 helicopter, and he delivers it to them very quickly using what delivery mechanism?